It's time to jump into DTM Experience and try it online. They've only just started the multiplayer alpha. I think it was last week or the week before. I've kind of not really... I could have jumped on it straight away, but I didn't. I thought I'd give it some time. And here we are. Now, I've just joined a server. And it looks like the race is starting. Volume on max. Okay, this should be interesting. I didn't qualify. Literally just joined when there was 13 seconds left. So I'm at the back of the grid. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. I just fiddled with the controllers in single player. Set on all the assists off and all that business. Get real mode. And I've set the rotation up. Hopefully it's alright. Really have no idea how this car handles. But it seems nice from when I was messing around in single player. It seemed alright. It seems really similar to GTRE Evolution, and if you're used to Simbin games. Only this car it seems to have really, the brakes aren't very effective on it. But I don't know if that's because it needs to warm up, but we'll see. So far from messing around with it though, the multiplayer seems pretty decent. The netcode... Oh, he's going to rear end me. I don't trust him. The netcode seems really solid. This is, I think Simbin, it's based on the R Factor engine, the original R Factor G Motor 2, I think it is. Game engine. But then I think Simbin have basically been working on it so much, it's essentially their own engine now. Kind of like what happened with Valve and the Doom engine. By the time it got to Half-Life and Half-Life 2, you know, it's a different engine. But the netcode is really nice. I'll admit, I was playing with a keyboard whilst I was setting it up online. And as a result, I was driving all over the place and driving into people. But the collisions were spot on. I mean, look at this guy here on the right. The car, he's there. He's not moving. Oh, dear. There was a guy to my right. I didn't even notice him. It's very stable, so that's fantastic. And yeah, well, I've just jumped into a game. It's a 10-minute race. This all seems to be working really well. You really, the brakes take ages on this car. They don't even seem to be locking up. Maybe it's a car setup issue and I need to tweak it a bit to make my brakes a bit more sensitive. I really can't feel where the limit is at all. But I'm loving how smooth everything is. Visually, it looks really nice as well. I've turned the graphics down a tiny bit for my recording. But I was trying it earlier on with everything maxed out, and it runs really well. And oh, look at that! There's been a bit of a collision there. Oh, yeah, it runs really nicely, and also looks really nice. They've done a really good job on these tracks, especially the side details. Animated 3D models for people in the stands. You should be able to see it here on the left now. Waving flags and stuff. That's really nice. They put the detail where it's needed, basically. Of course, it's a DTM game, so you have to buy this separately as part of Race Room. The Race Room Racing Experience, this is separate add-on packs. It's essentially a standalone game. Once you bought this, you get a bunch of cars, a bunch of tracks, and access to its multiplayer. I don't know how they're going to integrate the single player with the multiplayer. Not single player, but if you buy content individually, I don't know how they'll integrate that with the multiplayer, but it'll be interesting to see. But as it is now, if you bought this DTM package, you know, you get DTM cars, DTM tracks, and what seems like perfectly fine multiplayer. When I looked at the server list, there seemed to be 5 or 6 servers with 15 plus cars in it, so it doesn't seem to be suffering from a lack of users, which is often the case with driving simulators. I think a lot of people are really worried with R3E in terms of how the project would progress. It looked like they might have been just milking the market with the cars and doing this sort of free to play, but it's not actually free. Oh no! But if they actually, for these editions, if they actually give enough content and you end up with a solid multiplayer game, and it's all in a package, like it's packaged off so that you know if you buy the DTM game, you're going to get essentially a solid GTR Evolution experience, then I don't think there's much of a problem. I mean, I don't mind. Oops. And for me personally, it's all about multiplayer racing. I'm not that interested in hot lapping. Though having said that, our Race Room Racing Experience, they do a bunch of hot lapping competitions with prizes, and they even structure it so that the prizes go. That's not how you take a corner. So the prizes go all the way down to say 200th place. So you don't have to be an alien to win something. And most of the hot lap competitions, if not all of them that have prizes, are free to enter. So it gives you a chance to demo the cars and the content, and also a chance to win something. So I think if you're new to sim racing, maybe you've only just had enough money to buy a force feedback wheel, and you're looking for a title to just jump on with and learn the basics of car handling, then you can't really go wrong with this. But as I say, this DTM is an add-on pack, so it's essentially a separate game, really. I mean, it ties into the R3E package, but it is basically, for all intents and purposes, it is a standalone game. You have to buy it as a separate product, almost. But from the limited time of just doing this online racing, the netcode seems really solid. I mean, it seems exactly like GTR Evolution. Possibly some mild improvements in the collision. I've bumped into people before doing this race now, and nothing ridiculous happened. And out of all the simulators, actually, GTR Evolution and this, you can bump into people as you'd expect from DTM or BTCC type racing. And you notice there, if people spin off, it's got a ghosting system in place, so that if you have someone going crazy on the track, it actually ghosts them off. So I think Simbin have really, out of all the games that actually try and do this simulator but accommodating people, so that you can race on a public server with people of differing skills, I think this is probably the best solution for that at this point in time. You can jump into a server, you can race with people online, and the game has the sort of auto management of the servers so that crashing is less of an impact. Now at the moment I think the cars feel a little bit sloppy with the physics. They're not bad, it's like GTR Evolution, and to me personally, I found GTR Evolution feeling a little bit sloppy. If you compare it to Game Stock Car, which uses the G-Motor 2 engine as well, Game Stock Car feels a lot tighter. It's still got the forgivingness to the car handling, if that makes sense, and the depth, but it feels tighter. Whereas GTR Evolution and this, there's a little bit of a sort of sloppy dampening feel to how the cars respond, but it doesn't ruin the game. That's just a sort of my personal feeling of the handling vibe from the game. Definitely have to fiddle with the force feedback though, and the car setups, because you can often dial a lot of that gloopy feeling out of it. 3 minutes left on the clock. And he really needs to tighten the brake up, because I like to be on the brakes where you can feel the tyres about to lock up, and obviously then come off the brake before it locks up, and you should be able to get that feeling through the force feedback, and just through, you can visually normally tell at what point you're at the limit of the brakes. Of course, this game's got all the same options. If you've played GTR Evolution, it's got all the same options for the force feedback. So there's loads you can tweak. The same R-Factor options, basically. So, really do just need to go through the settings and fiddle with it. It'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of this, if there's like a podium. Somehow I'm second. I guess the other people must have disconnected, because I'm not exactly driving fast on this and missing half the brake points. It wasn't until recently, GTR Evolution used to be the sort of go-to place for touring car racing online. Like pick up, instant, load it up and you can do a touring car race instantaneously with people online. There wasn't anything else that offered that. As it is right now, Assetto Corsa has multiplayer with GT cars, which offer the same sort of thing. But then multiplayer still needs a fair bit of work. The cars ghost around quite a lot in that, especially people's pings are above 100, or you join a server where you're laggy. And obviously Assetto Corsa is still in early access at the moment, so that's yet to really come to fruition. R-Factor 2 has a bunch of really nice GT cars in it, but the game seems a bit dead online recently. For pickup racing, I really, at the moment, for a solid pickup racing experience where you're guaranteed to get 20 car grid, no technical issues at all, I guess you could still play GTRE, though it's not dead. But this probably is a good option, and probably the only live game right now. Oh no! Oh, someone else got to drive for pounds. I thought it was me. That's nice how it comes up on the screen though, so I can laugh at other people's misfortune. I guess if you've got iRacing account, you can use that to jump in and play online straight away. But I think with the way iRacing is configured, it's more suited to people that are looking for a league racing type format mixed with pick up and play. But in iRacing, you generally are probably only going to want to do one race in the evening in it. You know, like do a single 20-30 minute race, do a bit of practice, set your car up. Whereas this is more suited to, I've got 20 minutes to kill, I just want to jump in, do it quickly, not really care about it. Or even just do a bunch of races with your friends, find a server on this, jump in, do 5 or 6 races, really casual, enjoy driving. And I think that's what it's offering really well. Sounds awesome as well, actually. Really throaty, raw engine and transmission noises and brake noises. Final lap here. These cars do seem to have a bit of a tendency to, when you get to low speed and you're on the turn, they really do want to pivot on the centre, and it's really easy to rotate them. You just have to make sure you don't put the car in that situation. Ideally, learn the track. It's a shame that I'm driving around on my own. I have to do another race as well. Riding up the curb, it's not what you're meant to do. But to be honest, I can't really fault anything with this. I guess you could say that the price is a bit high for the amount of content you get, and if you've already dropped a load of money on individual content in R3E, then it is a bit harsh for you to then have to buy DTM Experience to get this package and race online. I'm not entirely sure on how they're structuring it, so you might be able to get, people might have bought this stuff individually to some extent. I don't know, need to look into that. That was an alright enjoyable race. I just jumped straight in on the start finish line, and we can't really complain about it. Let's see if there's another server. I'll see what happens at the end of the race actually. D heavy, heavy, I can't read. G muscle. That's nice. That's really nicely presented. I think it's really polished. That's the thing with R3E and Simbin in general. They do really nice polish to their titles. it doesn't feel cheap. It just feels like a nice solid. Shows your picture as well at the end, which is cool, so you can brag. This guy looks like Tay-Zonde. That's pretty cool. Oh, gotta hide screen, gotta hide screen because it's got a video in the background. The background video has footage in it that's copyrighted, so if I put it on my YouTube, I'll get into trouble. So at the end of the race, it's booted me out. I'm just going to load up another one and get off this. We want it on Get Real, actually. Practice. Yeah, so the servers that are in session, you can't join them when they're in session. It's basically exactly the same as GTR Evolution. We need... Let's join this one that's got on Get Real. Trying to the BMW. There we go. I can put you back on the screen. Yeah, that's really annoying that they don't. It doesn't. Oh, I've lost my track of thought there. But yeah, the loading times, actually, it does take quite a while for the game to load, and then you get on these loading screens, you get them advertising stuff to you, and it's like, well, if you've... Fair enough if it was completely free to play, you know, they've got to pay for it somehow, but if you spent $150, 150 quid or whatever on all the content, obviously you probably wouldn't buy all the content, you'd just buy what you want to drive, but if you'd spent a good amount of money on it, it's a bit of an insult to then advertise stuff to you on the loading screens when you've already paid so much into it. So personally, I'm not fully convinced on the sort of free to play model. I think it can work, but I think it has to be done in a very specific way to work properly. But I think it works financially for a company, and I think it can work for the players in that you might end up with a game that's really popular, and you know it might make a sim racing studio have a sustainable income or large income, so it might benefit sim racing, and as a result, you've got more people to race online with. So, but as an individual at this point in time, you can spend less money and get more for your money. I think is the point I'm getting to. What a convoluted conversation. This is what happens when you play driving simulators. Your brain falls out your nose. The tracks are really nicely modelled. Really nice attention to detail. Even though the road surfaces aren't laser scanned, there's really good. Whoops, a bit tighter than I thought it would be. There's really good road surface detail and road texture that comes through the force feedback in a really nice way. Oh, this track's flatter than a pancake. Didn't even bother to check where we are. I don't know half the tracks on this DTM expansion pack. I don't recognise them, or if I have played them, they look completely different. I think this car has stability control on it there, because I've turned everything off. Let's double check. I thought I had everything off. Well, that's it. Yeah, gone through it. It's all off. It's just it is a very stable car. I put the power on coming through one of those corners, and instead of the back end stepping out a bit, it just understeered off. I think Simbin were actually talking about getting other people involved to progress the physics a bit, increase the realism, because I think there were complaints of people saying the cars were a bit dull. Ooh, sorry, dude. And yeah, I probably agree with that. I think the cars are they do feel a little bit simplified. They're really nice. There's nothing. They don't feel broken. I recognise the track now. So it's driving onto dirt. Yeah, the cars don't feel broken, but there's something a bit simplified feeling about them. But they're still plenty of fun to drive, even if you're really if you're really into simulators and are used to playing iRacing, factory, all those Assetto Corsa, then it's not bad. I don't know how you actually apply setups, or if you can grab a setup. I'll have to check that out for the next video. Try and find some good setups, or do some setup tweaking myself, and see if we can get the cars a little bit more responsive. I really like it when you dab the brake and the car wants to turn in, and on the throttle the back end comes out. Really like a nice, nimble, agile, and snappy car. But with the setup they've gone for now, I can see it's really accommodating to people that are new to driving, so they've not made bad decisions, and apparently I don't know how to drive. What a disaster start. I was definitely expecting, I always expect the brakes to just be more effective in this than they actually are. Should be more enjoyable trying to catch people up though. Sounds are really good. You could hear the tyres screeching as they try and bite the road. The engine, as you come off the gas, is one that goes into lower revs. On braking, and you change gear, that sounds really nice. Oh, that smoke effect's really good. It's just really polished. I think that's the. It's just really nicely polished. Oh shit! Sorry, dude. The brakes. I'm gonna let him go back past me because I. Oh no, where's he gone? There we go. The brakes just don't seem to work. It's like initially they work, and then you get down to the last 40 miles an hour, and the car just keeps going. You just stop riding up on the curves. It's a bad habit. That was terrible. This track's really flat, but has little subtle cambers on it. I've broke my gearbox. I was wondering what was going on. That's really awesome. The gearbox has gone all finicky because I absolutely destroyed it, either from being rear-ended or when I was changing gear and did something stupid. I'm using my DRS, there we go. Forgot about that. Of course all these cars have DRS. Oh no! Yeah, the low speed is a bit... My car that sounds like a tractor. I've absolutely knackered the gearbox. I was skipping gears now. Well, it seems like that. Either I'm going crazy. Oh, it is, yes, totally knackered. So I'll nurse the car back. We've got 11 minutes left, so I'll go into the pits. That's it, race over. Oh, I won't engage. It's nice how it's progressively got worse. Garage wouldn't be able to fix this, I don't think. dear, it's getting there. It's absolutely 100% knackered. I don't know what the limiter button is. If it's... It'll be interesting to see if they allow me to fix this, because I don't think in reality, if your clutch is gone, you're pretty much screwed. Let's see. Oh, it's auto. It's got an auto pit system, I guess. Look at all the detail there. The characters, all 3D models. A stop go penalty. Oh God. Will it fix? Oh, you're not allowed to fix your car in a stop go penalty, so that's good. Animated as well, so it's really just adds to the immersion, and it runs really well. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do a lap with the gearbox dangling off the back of the car. It's more like tractor simulator at the moment. It is absolutely ham sandwiched. I just want to see if when you pit with a problem like this, if it actually if it will fix it or not. Just checking behind me to make sure I don't hold anyone up. I wonder if they'll add Oculus Rift support, because this will be absolutely incredible to play with Oculus Rift. Here we go, let's see what happens. I don't know where the actual pit entry is, and I don't know what the pit speed limit is either. Oh, 80, okay. Fair enough. I hope that's not my penalty. Maybe that's an alpha issue then, if that's giving me a penalty. I'm just going to go through the... Okay. I guess that's not working properly yet, or I'm missing something that I've misunderstood. But that gives you a good idea. I'm going to stop this video now, because otherwise it'll go on forever. But it seems... I'm going to do another video in a bit, or soon, about this, because I want to play it a bit more before actually commenting on it more. Actually, I'll get off the track. Sorry, dude. Seems really nice. The netcode's absolutely fine. No one's, you know, when you bump into people, the cars respond as they should. Far better. It's far better than iRacing, and a lot better than Assetto Corsa at this point in time. I'm trying to think of other games. It's probably better than R-Factor 2, actually, in terms of how the cars respond to just bumping into each other. It's really good. Nothing unexpected happens there, and I think that's the main thing for Netcode. The cars aren't flashing around all over the place. The actual game system itself, so like the organisation of how you get into a multiplayer race, all seems absolutely fine. It's got stuff like ghosting. When people are spinning, they lose it on the track. So really, even though this is an alpha, it looks like this will be a really exciting simulator for when you just want to jump in and do a online race in touring cars. No hassle. Jump in, do a race, 10-minute race, have a blast, and you're done. Absolutely fantastic.